Kolder Creative. Is it going to be a hole-in-one? All right, let's get into the video. That was a terrible intro.
All right, guys, we're in the lab. Let's jump into the course, see what we got going on. Check out the dashboard. And real quick, what I noticed immediately is the amount of content that Sam is putting together within all these different modules. So DaVinci Resolve, 90 videos, almost 20 hours. Premiere Pro, 250 minutes. After Effects, 171 minutes. Data management, 15 minutes. My creative process, 21. Video transitions breakdown, 144. Additional programs, 17. Business, an hour. FPV, almost an hour. Gear, around 40 minutes. Shooting, 33. Technicalities, 32. And then a bunch of other resources too, including live streams that Sam has put together and others, as well as student den sessions where students actually teach just different things, that they know. So here we have stock photography with some different students, color grading basics, ton of different stuff going on. Meet the team, events. They also have a Discord and a Facebook group. So let's just jump over real quick to the Discord. Start here, pretty simple with the different, roles and what's going on. Contest updates, my year, chat. And this is a pretty, I'd say the community is super active as well, which is nice. It's not one of those communities that you join and then it's just, kind of dead, not too many people saying much. Seriously, like if you look in the Facebook group, just looking at these different updates, 6 hours ago, 20 hours ago, 15 hours ago, 12 hours ago, 13 hours ago. So this is all already 5 posts within a day. A lot of people post their work and we'll get some feedback through it. And then technical questions are answered as well, basic customer service. But for the most part, it's people kind of sharing their experiences, introducing themselves, looking to connect with other creators for different projects that they're working on. And then occasional jokers, like look at this thing, right? That's kind of funny. Okay, anyways, jumping back into the dashboard, let's go into the course a little bit more in depth. I know that, it's kind of impressive at a glance to see, 19 hours on DaVinci Resolve, 250 minutes, almost, 4 hours on Premiere. But if, Sam isn't covering anything and he's just kind of, rambling on and on, he wants to sit through, 20 hours of unproductive time. So let's check out Premiere Pro from a high level, obviously an intro to Premiere. We have going over the interface. So I think it's just talking about all the different panels. So again, this is some stuff that I would say that if you are new to creating videos, maybe you're very new to Premiere, these first videos are going to help you here. But then it starts to get a little bit more advanced, I'd say, with the subtleties. So, for example, like one thing that was new to me within like the keyframe section, and what's nice is how you can speed in and speed out by right-clicking on keyframes, which will just tidy up your video and make it just a little bit cleaner. That's just one instance. Sam's going to talk about it here. And then one thing that is nice is that Sam actually does a lot of kind of proactive learning. It's interactive, the course, because throughout the course, you'll see that Sam will actually share the footage that he's currently editing. So you as the viewer, you've got the ability, if you truly want to engage with this content and apply it right then and there to get, the same look that Kolder is actually getting. He actually provides, the footage right there. So I could pull this up. I don't know if it'll follow with this screen recording with this software I'm using. I don't think it's going to pull, but I just pulled up the clip next to me and I've got it up. I'll overlay it on what I'm talking about now. This was a module that I got a lot of value out of the sound design course, where Sam talks about,
what's up, guys? Today is
just talks about how he actually goes about thinking about the environments that he's sound designing for, and he really shows the different layerings and just the process it takes to take, a stale clip that just has music behind it to something that is much more live with sound. And he shows his process and how really granular he gets. I honestly think that is, aside from seeing the getting like the structure of how Sam edits, what you'll notice throughout this course that I think is probably one of the biggest takeaways is how much focus he actually puts into every single second of audio and visual, really millisecond, down to the frame to get things right. So you're going to see how long it really takes him to put together this, 10, 15 second sequence of him just basically, hanging out the window of a friend's car and then transitioning to an underwater shot and then like a random hand shot with a light flare, and how much it really takes to put together, that 10 seconds. And he also walks you through the process, which is pretty cool of how he thinks about it. So now that we've kind of gone into Premiere, let's keep moving forward into the different aspects of the course. Creative process, I think something that that a lot of people wonder with Sam. And if I were going to just do a big reveal right now, he kind of talks about two different strategies. One of them is just winging it straight up. He pretty much is just going to tell you he just wings it and just goes off past experiences. I think he references this like shoe commercial that I think he says the brand wasn't really a fan of. I think we can watch a little bit of it here. Let's see. Where is it at? It's like right here. Come on. Oh man. It's in here. There's so many dope clips. But anyways, he talks about how he essentially is wung it on some projects. That could be one creative process. See whatever's in the motion, see whatever you're feeling in the moment, just go for it. But he talks about and uses an example this product, this video that he made for Gymshark. I'm pretty sure it's on his YouTube, where they kind of roam around New York, and how structured and how planned that was. And he goes over how thoughts and ideas of how you want to wing it, because even though Sam's winging it in this example, he's not really winging it. He's going in there, but he's again, adapting, he's thinking, he's going off past experiences to put together, the winging it version. And then with the high production version, or not the high production, but the video with Gymshark in this example, he's showing how you would actually break down the shots you want, how you would think about it, how you actually are shooting to the way that you would want to be editing, which is a good take. So shoot, see, for example, he goes over in this, how in one scene, he's already thinking about how this one clip is going to lead into the next setting. And so he's doing like a whip pan or something from one shot, and then at the next shot, he knows he gets there on location, and then he immediately does that whip pan. So it's super seamless. He gets to the editing room. It's just like boom, boom, done. So those are kind of over. I don't want to, say that's his whole creative process. Obviously, I'm just, summarizing what this 20-ish minute video will say. There's a lot more value in it than what I just said. I just wanted to give you my high level take. I guess what's kind of nice too is the templates and downloads. We can keep moving right along. There's a ton of different resources within this, bunch of different sample clips. You can see Sam's media kit, which is pretty cool. So what he actually uses to pitch brands in a template that you can use within that to input your information. Talks about different strategies on how to price and upsell your work, from selling, the raws, selling different ways the clips can be edited, from, sending that main video, main brand video, and then cutting it into, shorter vertical videos, reels or TikToks, and then also, adding in photos to the overall package. So he talks about how to bring, a project that might be, coming in at like 2,000, 4,000, and then being able to stack on the value. So even though, you're still putting in the same amount of time shooting, you might be able to make a lot more on the editing side, bring that up to like twice or three times as much just by offering your clients that you're working with the opportunity to spend more, and how to package an upsell so it looks attractive. So Sam goes pretty in depth to that. Moving back into the course, let's talk about business. Who doesn't want to learn about business? Because for me, for example, I definitely know how to shoot, right? I can create content, and I feel like my creative ability is high, but my business acumen isn't as high. So I do feel like I'm getting paid a little bit undervalued. So I was really looking forward to this. And then he kind of goes through different formulas with his business partner, just talking about exactly how they're doing, outreach. So it talks about, in this section, he's going to talk about, how to research different clients, talks about different software tools to get emails, just because I worked in tech sales for a while. So one that I like, and I think he actually talks about this in this course, is called hunter.io. This is a resource that Sam references, and you're able to verify company emails. I believe he also talks a little bit about how to find the people that you're reaching out to. You can pretty much find them all on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is a good place to look. So, one business strategy that they share is basically finding the people that, right, you're basically prospecting, right? So looking up brands, looking up the brand managers, looking up the marketing managers, verifying their emails on, Hunter, and then actually reaching out with the initial pitch, right? Price upsell your work. So it all kind of takes you the two-step method. This whole intro to business is really structured on how to go from, I can create decent content to, okay, now how do I get in front of someone that can actually hire me and make getting clients, not this whole referral based thing, but actually structure it so you can, if you do a consistent amount of outbound, you'll know how many replies you're getting, and you can actually know how much work you may be, getting back in return for that. So that's what's nice about this. It's very structured, and it's just straight up. We're going to find emails with this. We're going to email these people this pitch. We're going to shoot for this many numbers, so on and so forth. So again, I actually don't fly FPV. I've done it a few times, kind of just get a little bit of a headache, but I got to power through that. But Sam talks about, everything when it comes to FPV. We all know that he's been doing it for a while and getting amazing shots. He's kind of in this little dungeon down here, going over his bag, right? Highlights of everything from the batteries to the remote to the different additional upgrades that Sam's made to his kit, right? Hero 50, GoPro attached to it, right? Different things like that.
I actually have SpeedyB on my iPhone as well. And I'm probably just going to be switching to using that to this Android. I'm just waiting on this Bluetooth adapter. So
we're getting really, really in depth and actually how to, basically make an FPV drone from scratch and mod it out, as opposed to, just getting one from DJI or something like that. So it's pretty advanced, right? If you're new, maybe you want to go this route, but honestly, you'll probably be fine just getting one from DJI, in my opinion, because if you're new, you really need to have, the best possible situation right off the jump, but maybe you do, and Sam's going to walk you through how to do that. So, and then you can see comprehensive list of all the gears mentioned. So Hero 8, voltage chargers, zip ties, SpeedyB, Bluetooth adapter, memory card holder, how to charge batteries, all the different things. So moving further along, let's go into the technicalities, okay? So again, pretty basic stuff here. If you're new to video work, this is going to, this might be new to you. Just talking about frame rates, shutter speed, aperture, ISO, right? All this stuff, it needed to be included, right? Because if you're a beginner, you do need to know this. I mean, this is the foundation that everything is built off of. But again, you could definitely find this stuff on YouTube. I don't think that I had too many interesting takes from Sam on this. I mean, he just shares different shots and different settings. I think that it was in this video that I talk about. I mean, just like, examples of what shots look like when the ISO is blown out, right? So again, if you're a beginner and you don't know this stuff, definitely spend some time here. But again, you can also find this on YouTube because it's the basics, but you do have to understand the fundamentals. So many projects get ruined by people not knowing the fundamentals. All right, let's go into After Effects. So After Effects, what's cool about this section with AE is that, again, Sam brings up a lot of his most iconic clips. Like if you go and watch his My Year, a lot of the clips that people just went crazy over, like how to do this transition, he'll just break it down right into this and then talks about, how he did it, how he even thought about it. Because a lot of the stuff with AE, like, yeah, you have to be good at AE, but you have to have the shots in mind and what's going to happen in order for it to even be possible. So let's jump around into one of these. Let's get into AE tracking. So he's got the downloadable clip there. Ring shot. So he talks about how he got this. How this ring plays And now the camera is actually going to follow this if my Wi-Fi is going to allow. Let's see. Oh, sorry, this is the rough footage, but he talks about how to have the camera basically follow the ring on his hand for you to edit. A lot of like, that's kind of popular right now, or has been in the past with TikTok, where they've got that camera motion of, you know, that shot where the dancers are dancing and it like follows the dancer's head or whatever, or just different whatever point of focus you have. So Sam shows you how to achieve that within AE. Mocha masks. Let's just click through another one and talk about it briefly. Again, another example. Mocha mask and sky replacement. I think, right, yeah, he talks about how he replaces the sky behind this van. So this is the initial shot, which is kind of to get it to that, right? So that's the after. This is before. It's just kind of like a blue sky.
And it'll do the rest of the work for you. So today I'm going to be showing you guys a real world example of where I would use Mocha to...
Right there, that example. I mean, yeah, shot's way better. Sky's kind of whack without it.
I'm going to be showing you guys a real world example of where I would use Mocha to...
Boom, before and after. So Sam walks you through exactly how he's doing that. Here you can see how tedious it is and how really in-depth Sam goes. And what's pretty crazy too is you can see how much Sam is working on this, because a lot of these clips will start kind of like in the daytime and then it'll just be like pitch black by the end of it. So you can't really tell in that one, but it's kind of a common thing that I noticed is Sam definitely put in the time. I mean, literally putting in, you know, night to day on this thing. Okay, let's keep moving. One thing that is kind of nice that Sam shows in this is that if you have a Mac, he shows how he just moves folders into the side bin here. So you can actually drag these folders into your favorites, and then that makes, you know, workflow a lot easier, because if you have stuff, you have folders you need access to that are buried like just deep, and you're like clicking 5, 6, 7 times to get to them, you can just drag them into your favorites and then remove it when the project's done. That was the big reveal on this 2-minute video. Sorry about that. He talks about a collaborative Thunderbolt editing process, which I never saw the value in this, because for those of you that don't know, there's something called Adobe Team Projects that you have within your Adobe subscription, and that actually allows you to share your project with another Adobe user. And then essentially what happens is you've got the project is in the cloud, and you are editing. You push your changes to the cloud. The other editor will bring those changes down, edit, push them up to the cloud. You pull those down, and then you're working. So that's kind of a more, I would say, realistic way to work on a project together, as opposed to, you know, this Thunderbolt process where you have to get together. If you get together, ideal. But if not, Adobe Team Project was built for this. So he walks through how to do this. Definitely look up, you know, Adobe Team Project if you're on Premiere and you want to be working together with someone else. Let's hop into Resolve introduction. So we've got Sam with this intro video sharing, basically showing why he made the switch, right? I think he made a longer YouTube video about it, kind of talking about the different things that he's had an issue with in Premiere. You can see was things are getting black and white, talking about it. And then obviously brings in the color when he's working within DaVinci to show that all things are well. He's comparing them right now to Final Cut, Premiere, everything else. So basically the personal welcome video is just, hey, excited to be here. Welcome to this course. This is the editing tool. Course outline, going through, I mean, the course outline is basically, you know what I mean? The course outline is just, he's just describing this, right? So he's kind of showing the different values, just what you should be looking for within each of these, and explaining, you know, what exactly is going on within DaVinci Resolve. So again, you know, this is DaVinci Resolve, top to bottom, from starting a new project, similar to Premiere, all the way to backing your stuff up, saving, sharing, etc. File search and organization. You can see that the DaVinci course is going to be very, very similar to the Premiere course and the After Effects course, because in my opinion, DaVinci is essentially like having, 3 products and one, right? Because you've got Premiere, which is the DaVinci Resolve editing. You've got the ability to do After Effects, just like editing, and then you've also got Audition, right? So you can edit your sound within DaVinci. So instead of having these 3-4 different products on the monthly subscription, you can pretty much bring all of your video editing needs and then your more advanced editing needs and your sound design into DaVinci for $295, which it doesn't really matter what you're paying, for Adobe Suite. DaVinci is going to be cheaper. And if those are the 3 main things that you're getting, definitely advise, making the switch. I think that Adobe, for me personally, nothing is going to replace Lightroom and Photoshop, but DaVinci definitely made a run after especially watching this, and I can see exactly why Sam made the switch and so many others. So if you're looking for an editing software to make the right move to, it could be DaVinci, but in the end, I think that there's so many different content creators out there that get so caught up, in the gear, in the editing, in the technical side of things, and just like having the best, as opposed to actually knowing how to use their gear, their editing software as best they can, right? And Sam does talk about that, actually. He's like, hey, obviously you want to be as good as possible. You want to have the best possible setup, but you can have so much more value out of actually knowing how to truly use that setup and get the most value out of it, as opposed to, say you're advanced with a mediocre setup versus a beginner with an incredible setup. The guy that's advanced with the okay setup will honestly most likely be able to, create a better product. So those are my thoughts, but obviously you want to have the best situation possible, especially, because, if you're a working professional, you just want to have the best stuff possible. So not mad at this either.
Nodes we're going to be using in the color tab, which we're going to be learning about later on in this course. Nodes in the color tab are much easier to understand, and in my opinion, things just make sense right away. Whereas the node space within Fusion requires you to have an understanding of the rules on how you assemble things in the Fusion node area before you can actually start doing things. It's not as intuitive at first, in my opinion, but once you understand the foundations and how things work, then it starts to make a lot more sense. And then you start to understand how much more beneficial it is to be able to view your entire project from the perspective of a node tree versus a bunch of layers in a timeline. These are 2 examples of the same project. On the left, we have a Fusion node tree, and on the right, we have After Effects layers. From my node tree, I can see every single element of my composition, including effects, resizing, and masks, without even having to open up a single layer. Whereas on the After Effects project, I need to open up each individual layer to get access to the masks, effects, and any other kind of changes I've made on each layer, which is a lot more time consuming in the long run.
So that's just a look at what's going on within a DaVinci if you wanted to check it out. Yeah, guys, and if you do want to get started with either of the Kolder Creative courses, I would be highly appreciated if you went through my link below in the description. Support a fellow creator. I get a small commission, so thank you for that. And and I'm going to put all the money towards more gear and staying in the game and creating with you guys, and basically just producing the best content for my clients and for myself. So I really appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Let's go into another tab. Obviously, we've got the shop here, which are going to be the discounted assets that Sam is plugging. Right? We got a movement watch. No way, movement merch. That's crazy. All right, let's check this out. Check it out just for fun. Get the discount, Sam VIP. Okay. That's what's up. We got the Crane. Any good discounts for Crane? Get the discount 10%. Music bed, solid for music, frame.io. Dope pulse sound effects. That's hard. Nice. And then back to the dash. Anything else worth jumping into? I mean, they have events going on too, connecting with the creators. It's community social nights. They really try to keep the community alive, and it's the more you put in, the more you're going to get out of it, right? So if you come into this and you are downloading the clips that Sam is sharing with you, editing them like he's explaining to do and then applying that to yourself, you can really improve your editing game seriously. So what I would recommend to get the most value out of this course is to just really apply and go in depth, right? So go into, when you go into the shooting tab, look at how he works on natural lighting, and then on your next project, go into it with these ideas in mind, and then try to get similar shots. Think about it as if, you were Kolder going through this. And that is how you can get a ton of value, by learning, immediately going to apply what you learned, and then also engaging with the community, right? Pop in to Kolder Creative, critique someone else's work, drop your own work, ask for constructive feedback, see what other projects people are working on, ask a question if you have, on pricing your project or how you would pitch this. Somebody will chime in, and you can start building relationships like there. That's another great way. And then obviously being active in the Discord, giving your 2 cents. But this course is definitely, definitely what you make it. I do think the price point is, it's definitely not on the cheaper side, but if this helps you land, 2-3 gigs out of it, honestly, 1 extra client should definitely cover this and a whole lot more, especially if you, apply the business strategy. And if you're just looking to get better as a creator and just make more cinematic content, I don't think there's many better places to go. And then I could tell that after Sam dropping this, I can see that, this was a huge update. I got to say, I wasn't crazy impressed when I got the first version of this. There was still stuff that was new to me because I wasn't that experienced in After Effects. There was a lot of value there for me, but this was a night and day transformation from the course. And I think that this is a huge commitment from Sam to say that, hey, I'm here. I'm going to, my name is on this thing. I'm going to make this thing as good as possible. I'm going to be updating it. And he really came out and showed out with, new content, bringing in DaVinci. That's a completely new whole program. And then also adding a lot of content to all these different modules. And then of course, making it nice and designing it well, so it's a good experience. Thank you for that, Sam. Yeah, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Definitely share my thoughts on it. Talk to you guys soon.